What do you think has been like the biggest barriers we've faced?
Coaches, like, no doubt.
Outfield?
Goalie coaches. Fellow GK Union.
GK Union, you're
members.
a big fan of that, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a myth. It's my thing. It's a myth. I have always said that. There is no GK Union, really, is there? Especially in social media.
On social media, but like say goalkeepers, innit? You kind of have a union when you're competing against people and competing against other goalies, can you? So I think it is. It'd be nice. It's a nice thought to have, but I definitely didn't come across it when I played. I was friends with some fellow goalies, but wouldn't say there was like a union there. They're supporting each other in that. It's more like dog eat dog, innit?
What's some of the things that's come up from other coaches? What would you say?
Don't work with them. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just social media goalies.
Somebody said they've never played a game between them or something, wasn't it?
I think what I've learnt the most is that from doing this, a goalie coach would rather his goalie didn't improve than improve working with us, or maybe anyone else as well. I think there's a lot of insecurity as well in goalkeeper coaching and stuff. And like we had the one with the guy from Gillingham years ago, and the goalie coach obviously went with the goalie to the manager to say, I want to bring in these lads because this goalie struggled with his distribution. And the manager says to the goalie coach, well, what the am I paying you for? And it's just like, it sums it up. So you can see why they might be a bit worried, because they have to justify to the chief executive, to the manager, that they're bringing in somebody to do something that they can't. But it's sad, like with the training gloves, we get opposition there, but the way we work, and of course I think the social media side, people don't like that. We've got a big platform and you can influence people, so I think there's a massive amount of resentment, and most of it is from goalie coaches, and they obviously have a massive influence on their goalies. Goalies who'll train the way we'll want them to train. I remember a certain club, a lot of their goalies came to us to train, and then I think the club knew that they were training with us because we'd be getting them to do things like making it look easy, doing it all where staying on your feet, and I think people know, but it's, I think a lot of people will know our goalies because they all play in a certain way, and
because we push a lot of like how every goalkeeper's an individual. They'll all have their own kind of style for doing things. Like everything that they'll do, they'll have their own variation of doing it, and we're never like promote just one way. Like you must do it this way, but goalkeeper coaches are still doing that, aren't they? Like it's still like pushing that you have to do it this way. Whereas you will get that if you only do drills that have only got one way of completing them. Whereas our training's all about like an open environment and multiple problems, or even the same problem, but trying to let goalkeepers find out their own solutions for it. So then you find like individual characteristics, and you find out like certain goalkeepers are better suited for certain things, or they have a different way of solving the problem, isn't it? So we like encourage goalkeepers to find what works for them, but then they go back to the clubs, and the clubs are telling them they have to do it this way, isn't it?
yeah. I think with me, and when I played, the only decision I ever had to make, in my training, the only decision making I ever had to make would be punch or catch, or parry or catch. That's the only decision. Whereas with our training, it's like there's so many things that could happen in that. So it just prepares you for a game where you've got all those different outcomes and your decision making. That's again when you talk about what's the best goalies in the world. Yeah, it's mentally, physically, and stuff like that. But like I say, that I don't know which part it comes into, but decision making, you'd say that's absolutely massive part of it.
Oh,
to make the right decisions in difficult times under pressure, and I think that's you've got to have massive respect for them.
And some of these came from goalkeeper coaches who aren't doing that type of training though, isn't it?
I know.
So like that just proves like there's some goalkeepers who are just a lot better at solving problems than others because they don't even work on it in training. So it's not like you can look at the ones who are the best in the world and say, well, what's their goalkeeper coach doing? All right, we need to do more of that, isn't it? And that's the kind of thing that you're still stuck in with goalkeeping is like Sean said previously, let's have a look at the top goalkeeper coach in the country. What are they doing? Right, okay, let's just do that. But then it's got absolutely no transfer there, or very little transfer to a match.
Yeah, I probably just thought throughout my career, because I was at the best club in Scotland, and they have this, you think it's the best goalie coaches, but we had a goalie coach there, and his was just the same Monday, same Tuesday, same Thursday, same Friday, exactly same sessions. You knew what was coming. You would never get a volley instead of a half volley. You would never get a half volley instead. You would know everything that's coming. And I just thought, oh well, that's just goalkeeper training, and it was like I got into such bad habits from that. But this was a goalie coach who was meant to be, I think he was the Scotland national team at the time, and Rangers. So you just think that's going to be the best coach. And so, but now I look back and I would do everything I would ever do is the complete opposite to what I did with him. So it's
you see so much like. I think you would call it like training to train. When that type of training, you're training just to get better at training, aren't you? Whereas we train to perform because the training replicates performance.
That training makes you look good, whereas our training makes you be good.
Well, it's like the big thing is like our training. It has like key information that you're going to see on a match day in training. So you're not trying to memorize a pattern of like, you're not memorizing this sequence of movements. It's like recognizing certain cues, certain bits of information that give you a hint to like what could happen, and that's what improves decision making. It's not from like memory; it's from literally like understanding what potentially could happen and depending on this situation, based on like body shapes, players in front, how the ball's travelling. All these little things have to be present in training, and I think that's why we get a lot of opposition from goalie coaches, because they're not doing that, and it's almost just like. This is right what we're doing because this is what we either know or we've been taught. That's right.
We obviously remember we did a video and it was the volley one.
Oh yeah.
It was like what a lot of goalie coaches would think, and of course you don't want to offend anybody, but it is true, isn't it? It's like if that was training, if that was a game, what happens in training, then this is what would happen. So I think
what I always find, man, is like how could they be that offended by it? Like it literally really offended people, didn't it?
Right. People absolutely hate it. We've had so much abuse about it, and coaches through players letting us know that they hated what we did. But then we get some real top goalie coaches around the world messaging going, "Oh, that was great. I would love to see it." But unfortunately, I got used to that, and then I had some striker who was clever and moved the ball and give us the eyes and put it in the other corner. That's what you get in a game. So it just seems a bit strange why you would, but it's like the same with putting the ball on a cone. It's not to move the ball. It's for people who can't get under the ball. Maybe an older guy who can't kick under the ball and get any height. So they kick it off a cone and the ball comes in absolutely perfect for you. But when they're doing it at such a top level, people do get influenced and think that's what you should be doing.
No, they'll be copying that.
Oh yeah.
And not knowing why it's done.
Like when you go back to the volley video as well, like who was it was done with to be an eye opener for people? You thought like that would be the wave. Like actually, it doesn't make sense. Like why are we doing that? You know, like all these things that's happening prior to stuff is more important. And then, like say, it wasn't like something to. You're not insulting somebody specifically. You're not insulting anyone. You're just saying like this is what it looks like. Imagine
it's not like it's their invented training and we're criticising it. They're just copying off what they're probably doing the training that their coach give them. So just don't take it personal. It's like you often come up with this volley service and you're getting criticised for it.
But they're like,
and if you are going to do volleys, just use the training gloves and it makes it more interesting.
The protected, like it's the core of goalkeeping. Like they'll say, well, I use them, but only for 5 minutes in a warm up. It's like, well, could you not do something else in that warm? Can you not? Is that the only way you can do that? Like why do you do it? What does it come down to? Like if you really really look at it, what is the need of it?
I know people say to warm your hands or to do this, do that, but like you can do so many other things that have actually use the warm up as a way of working on something.
We use crossing a lot, don't we, for warm up, like just because you get so much out of it.
It's got everything in it, isn't it? And you can do it started unopposed and then move on to the main part of the crossing session you can do with opposition.
I think that's why, like, when we go back to like the biggest barriers, like from coaches, it's like because you just got such a different way of thinking. Like we've got such a different way of thinking how the game's played and how you should prepare for it, that it becomes offensive. Like they become offended that we don't think the same as them. And then if we get people who want to come to us, it's even more like offensive, isn't it? Because they're like, they feel as like you say, it's like an insecurity thing of like, I can't give them what they're needing, or not even that. It's like, you don't need that. What do you need that for?
I remember a few years ago, and Chesney from Juventus messaged telling us what he wants to add to his game and how he wants help with his distribution. And I thought it was like the most amazing story it could have been. Like Ronaldo was there at the time. He wanted advice on, what was it? Disguising a ball from the deck and
short
run
kick
shot,
on it.
right. And we saw he sent us slow motions on it, didn't he? And we saw things that you could improve it so much. And it could have been an amazing story. But
we had the game picked and everything, didn't we? He's gonna let us go and watch a game.
And then
come to
invite
training
us to
for
the
2 days.
training.
I mean, we had our. I think I was away for my wife's birthday, and I was ready to just come straight home and pack my bags for the 2 days in advance.
And then the last minute,
No, I was just
he just ghosted us.
Still,
Right.
still to this
It
day.
still hurt.
not getting back.
If you're
Not that
watching
bad,
this,
Please
just
get
let
in
us
touch.
know.
What did we
joke.
do?
That was a
Wojciech,
joke.
what did we do?
And well, it could have been. You don't want to. No positives to it really, but like I think at the time Chesney was probably one of the best 3 or 4 in the world. He was doing amazing, and I think adding that to his game could have got him to be the number one. I think since 2018, I don't think he's definitely not the goalie that he was thought of back then. So I just think it could have been a brilliant one. But it's obviously a coach that doesn't want. He's obviously asked permission from the coach, and they want us nowhere near.
that was
Does it
it, wasn't
make
it? He
them
says,
look bad?
this is what the manager wants us to do. This is what I'm doing at the minute. I'll speak to the coach and we'll organise coming in for the training on the Monday, and then we'll go watch a game on the Tuesday, and then it just flatlined.
Killed us.
But then again, if that happened, what chances would have people known about that happening?
And it's
You know, like-
totally private, innit?
He wasn't gonna go out and tell everyone, and Juventus definitely weren't gonna be doing that. And
But we've had that, which was massively high profile. But then we'll put a lad into a Premier League club, and a couple of years ago, and he got a lot of it. He was not bullied, but he got a really, really difficult time from him, and it was because of his association with us. But we've had so many young goalies who've ended up getting almost bullied at their clubs because they've been working with us. And
sometimes the t-shirts, somebody wore a t-shirt in there at a camp or something, and the guy was, one of the goalie coaches was kicking off saying about wearing that.
I know.
That was it's
So sad, especially when we're all there. The reason why I've started this is for the mental health side of goalkeeping and helping them avoid spending 95% of their career depressed like I did and miserable. So like we've started for the right reasons. We want to help as many. It's not about selling. It's about helping these goalies, making the goalkeeping position more like inspiring and making more kids want to do it rather than just putting the biggest guy in. So I think it's all the right reasons to make a difference, and but having this opposition just makes us want to fight more. But it's really, really difficult as well, isn't it?
What's funny is, I always think is, we're not once of whatever says, you must do this. Like that's the best thing. Like I think we've always just said like, find whatever works best for you, or like we've never said anything's black and white, and yet we'll have more opposition than anyone. And all the other coaches are telling you must do this, never cross your feet, never face your own goal, never do this, never do that. And we're like more like free flowing and like just all about fluidity and find your own way, and we get more opposition than anyone.